The story begins. We are on our way this morning to Elmina, central region of Ghana, to visit an interesting lady called Imahkus Okofu. She is one of the African ascendants that have repatriated to Ghana 27 years now, originally from New York.
But I have a traditional name this saying. By Krona Yakosono, we're friendly. Ogwa. I meet so almost Ogwa. And I can find that. Oh, child. Say, but see to Ogwa. As I said, Ogwa and you. Okay. A big of fancy. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. Bye bye. Okay.
The journey from Accra to Elmina is 160 kilometers. And almost all the villages in this region are located on the coastline. Fishing is their main occupation. This region gives you an in-depth knowledge of forts and castles in Ghana. Right. One Africa. One Africa. And I say it again, one Africa. This is one of the most interesting women I've ever come across in Ghana. And I met this lady 2010.
Okay. Thanks very much. Peace. I'll call you back.
Yeah, you know, it's not easy.
My day starts.
Yeah, it's not easy to hold the title Mama Africa, One Africa, because One Africa means that you're dealing with a lot of countries, a lot of tribes, a lot of different types of people. So no wonder your phone is ringing like that. Does it ring like this every day?
Every day, all day. I turn it off in the nighttime so I can get some sleep. Otherwise, it will ring off the hook. One Africa, and I really have to give the credit to whom credit belongs, because Nana Okofu Itri Kweku, the first Ababio, was my kingman, and he always talked about one Africa. We are one African people. You know, false borders have been put up by the Europeans and separating us, just like here in Ghana. Your kitchen can be in Togo and your hall can be in Ghana.
What motivated you to come back to the motherland?
I was in my shop. It was around June. Some guy came in my shop and said, "Oh, I'm an African chief." And I looked at him like, "Yeah, right. And my name is Pocahontas, so now what?" He said, No, you African Americans, you don't believe, but I'm a chief in Ghana. And if you give me $5,000, I will organize and take you to Africa.
Yeah?
I said, that's what I said. Yeah, really? I must look like I'm stuck on stupid. I should give you $5,000. I don't know this man from a can of paint.
Because you thought it was a scam, yeah. Big time, because you don't know him.
I don't know him.
Yeah, all right.
So I'm not giving him no money. I said, look, I tell you what, why don't you just leave your papers? And I will look at them and discuss it with my king man and we will see. So I looked at it. My king man and I reviewed it. He said, well, we called the number. And when we called the number, a travel agent answered and said, yes, I'm organizing a trip for this man who's a chief and he's going to be installed in Ghana. So I went and visited them, and that's where I met Cohen. And so, my husband said, you should go. So instead of me...
So he wasn't bullshitting you?
No.
He wasn't bullshitting you. He was on point.
He was on point about being a chief. Yeah. Yes, okay. He was. Right. So we went to the reception and I met the other people.
So do you remember the year you landed in Ghana?
I landed in Ghana in August 1987.
Keep watching ZOH TV.
August 1987. How was the feeling? Thinking that your ancestors have been taken away from this place for so many years and you are the descendants that have come back.
Let's make a few corrections, okay?
Yeah.
First of all, my preference and the preference of those of us who are in the knowledge of ourselves, we are not descendants of enslaved Africans. We are the ascendants because we are rising. To descend is to go down.
Did you guys hear that?
To descend is to go down. So we're not descending. We're rising. We are the ascendants of those enslaved Africans, because we have to also remember that when the European came here and took our people, he didn't come here and find a whole lot of slaves in chains waiting for him to come.
No.
Take them away. Yeah. They were in their villages, they were doing their jobs, they were doing whatever they were doing. They were free. Yeah. They were then enslaved, put in castle dungeons, and we have to remember, when you talk castle, we were not in castles.
Right, Kotoka International Airport, how did you feel? Mama Africa, One Africa.
Well, first I went to Nigeria, and my experience in Nigeria was really not the best. If I let my experience in Nigeria be my guide, I probably would never have come back.
So when you came to Africa first time, you landed in Nigeria. Yes. So the chief that you were talking about was Nigerian?
No.
The chief was from Ghana?
The chief was from Ghana, but the flight was into Ghana, into Nigeria, change planes, and then come to Ghana.
Okay, we'll leave Nigeria story.
So we're in Ghana. When we first landed, naturally, there was a whole lot of confusion. The tourist board wanted to take us, and then the chief who brought us was taking us, and he was arguing with the tourist board. It was almost like we were, like you barter for something. No, they're mine. No, they're mine. Take them. I'm taking them. You're taking them. You know, we had our experiences. First, they took us to a house of ill repute.
Maybe that was the only kind of hotel available and cheap at the time, or was there any reason?
Well, I don't know. It was a cheap hotel. Didn't have any lights. The only thing they had was candles, lanterns, and concrete beds. So, you know, coming from America, people are like, hey, whoa, what? I'm not staying. We are mad people. So we didn't stay there. They took us to another hotel in town. They didn't have any running water, so I didn't know what the buckets were for. I soon found out the buckets of water.
Yeah, because you see the bucket in the shower.
This bucket was at the front door, okay?
But they were telling you something. It's a symbol.
Yes, it was. It was saying there ain't no running water.
And therefore you got to fetch your water.
You understand? So
viewers, you know what? This is very interesting. We're getting down to the basics of Africa. You get what I mean? This is the daily life, but you know, it's real. Mama Africa, One Africa, she has experienced it. And she's talking up from experience point of view, from reality point of view.
Yeah, so it was cool. But the thing that I remembered most on that second day, when I woke up in the morning, I heard this sound, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Whoosh, whoosh. So what the hell is that? Yes. So I go outside and I see all of these children.
What time?
About 6:30 in the morning. Deep in the dirt. I'm like, whoa, look at that. And the thing is that they were sweeping and all these children. So I said, I put my clothes on and went to see them. The children were so well mannered. You walked in, the children stood up. Good morning, madam. How are you? And I'm like, whoa. Schools in America was like, what?
Monsieur, mademoiselle, I tell you something, ZOH TV is the ish. Keep watching ZOH TV and you'll be glad.